All right, now let's talk about some consumer loans and amortization. Amortization. I have a struggle saying the word. Anyway, so in this lesson, we're going to talk about some common consumer loans. Consumer loans meaning we're the customers, and loans that we take out for different things. We're going to talk about amortization, what it is, amortization payments and schedules, and of course, common mistakes and key takeaways. So let's get into it. So consumer loans, as you know, consist of like auto loans, mortgages, your student loans, credit cards, any type of financial product that you actually go to a financial institution. You say, hey, I need this money. They give you the money. They charge you interest and you pay back. You make payments. You make regular payments, right? So it's sort of like an annuity, because a lot of times the payments are consistent. They're the same across the board. They're every month. Most consumer loans are going to be every month. I think it's very rare that you see it. Like with my mortgage, we'll pay like extra payments, that type of thing, but it's still due every month. Okay, so that's the same thing with credit card and car payments. So, but it fits just like a annuity. So if you have not seen the videos on annuities, go and watch that, and this will make more sense once you see that, because we're going to be using the exact same tools and concepts in here. But so regular periodic payments. You have a future value, the amount you owe plus any interest, right? They tell you up front what you're going to borrow. There's an interest rate, and then there's a number of payments. All of these things fit the annuity, but the most important part is that they are regular payments. Most of them, again, are going to be monthly. So when your loan payment, whatever loan payment you have, when that loan payment includes principal and interest together, that is called an amortized. It is amortized. That's what it means. So that means that that payment is amortized, because it's not just a one-time thing. It doesn't just include the principal. You're not just paying back the principal. These financial institutions are actually charging you a fee, which is the interest, to borrow money from them. And so when you have the principal and the interest, that is considered an amortized payment. So it's your loan payment plus the principal and interest. When you're doing consumer loans, if we're honest, you know how much you're going to borrow and you know how much the interest rate is. But sometimes we run into additional questions like, how much are my payments going to be? When you go to when you go get a car, they'll tell you, hey, I can lower your payment. Like they suck you in with that. But there are other questions that we normally have around consumer loans besides, how much is the payment going to be? How much am I going to be paying in interest? You should be asking about how much you're going to be paying interest. How much, if I make a payment, how much is it is going to principal versus what's going to interest. And a lot of people, I guess, get messed up, because I've heard of school loans and they're like, yeah, I'm making payments, but my payments aren't even enough to make a dent in the loan. Well, that's because they don't realize that this is how much my payment is. They haven't calculated how much goes to the principal, how much goes to the interest. That is very important. So think about some other questions that you might have had with your consumer loans. And I'm hoping, showing you this, you get an idea. Now, again, remember, there's CPAs, there's calculators, you have AI tools. There's all these tools out there that'll give you this information, but going through this class, you need it for your degree, and you kind of get to see what's going on. So how much will my payments will be? That's normally the main question, because this is like consumer loans are almost like annuities, where they're pretty much an ordinary annuity. Again, go back and watch the video on annuities, and this will make so much sense. You know how much you're borrowing. That's really your principal or your present value, right? And so if we want to know how much we're going to be paying, we can actually take this formula and solve it for payment. If you take all of this here and move it over here by doing division algebra, you actually come up with a formula for the payment. So see, we took that part and we divided it. So if I go back, we're just going to take this part and divide it. And when you divide it on both sides and you simplify it, do a little algebra, you end up with this nice little formula over here that helps you determine what you have to make for payments. So a loan of whatever dollars at an interest rate I per period may be amortized in N equal periodic payments of PMT dollars at the end of the period. AKA, basically what that means is we can calculate a payment that includes your principal and your interest together. That means it's amortized, and then we can give you this loan, and these are what your payments are going to be. So just like with annuities, your payments at the end of the period, your interest rate is your rate divided by the however many compound periods it is, and then your N is the total time period. So the compounding periods times the annuity. Now, because these are consumer loans, I want to say majority of the time, I don't want to like give a number, but a very high percentage of the time, your payments are going to be monthly. It's very rare that your payments are something different unless you have a special type of financial product. Oh, another good question. What is my remaining balance? Okay, I've made so many payments. I've made 50 payments. Now, how much do I owe? I've made 10 payments. Now, how much do I owe? There is a formula for that. So if the loan can be amortized, meaning you can calculate a payment that has the principal and the interest together, you can actually figure out what the remaining balance would be for that particular loan. So this is what the formula looks like. It's very extra. But again, there are financial tools behind the scenes that do this. Remember, we're just learning it so we have an idea of what's going on. I don't like hearing stories about people like, well, I didn't know I was making this payment and it was only going to the principal, or it was only going to the interest. I didn't know that I was making this. I've been making payments for years and I haven't put a dent in what I owe in my loan. This is what's happening behind the scenes, very high level behind the scenes. This is kind of the foundation of what's happening. Now, one of the things I want to point out about this formula, it gives you a reasonable approximation as an individual of what's going on. But when it comes to financial institutions and the banks, they have to be exact because they get audited. They have to account for every penny. So you'll see some adjustments that are made because you can't avoid rounding. Rounding happens. But for us, individual consumers, this actually gives you a reasonable approximation of how much your remaining balance is. And then there's calculators and other tools out there that will also help you determine how much your payment is remaining and how much of your payment went to it can do all of that for you is basically essentially what I'm trying to say. But this kind of puts it in your hand. Because the financial institutions have to be exact, that's where amortization schedules come into play, because they're going to show you exactly from beginning to end what your payment schedule is going to be, because they have already calculated it. That way it shows a little honesty and transparency up front and saying, hey, this is what we calculated. If you make these payments, this is how much is going to the principal, this is how much is going to the interest, and then these are going to be your balances at the end of that. If you go and look at your school loan payments, if you go look at your mortgage payments, I don't know if credit cards do it. I guess they have like a little chart, but really your school loans and like mortgage payments, car payments probably do it. You can actually find like a type of schedule. So below, this is just an example of a loan of $8,384. They made a down payment. And then so this $7,184 was the remaining balance that was amortized, meaning they created a payment that covered the principal and the interest. Monthly payments, 12% interest for 4 years. And then this schedule just kind of shows you, okay, this was my beginning. And then when I make a payment, this amount went to the interest, this amount went to the principal, and then this is what was remaining. Now, if you notice, the interest is what goes to the financial institution because this is what they're charging you. So the only thing that gets subtracted from the principal is the amount that you pay to the principal. Okay, that's why it's very important when you're making loan payments. You have to know, okay, I made this payment. Now, if you would have seen more coming to the interest and less to the principal, that's why your balance is not moving as fast. Normally, when you get mortgages, like when I first bought my house, you're paying more in interest because that's just how it works. But over time, as you make more payments, and for me, we double up on payments. So then you end up putting more money to the principal. When you put more money to the principal, you pay less in interest. So that's the idea. There are so many strategies that are out there to help pay off the loans faster if you have the ability to do them.